Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. It is Modern Warfare 3 launch week. Partially, obviously, later on this week, on the 2nd, we are going to have campaign early access go live. And then next week on the 10th, the full game for multiplayer, zombies, everything there drops as well. But today we got some brand new information on early access update times. We also got new details on what to expect in terms of file size for this game. A lot of launch update details in a sense. So as we get into it, if you enjoy the video, if you find it helpful or informative at all, do me a favor, drop a like on it. It would be really appreciated. And if you are new to the channel, every single day I got you covered with all things going on in COD. And as we get closer to MW3 launch, of course, we got a bunch of new reveals coming up. We're going to have new blogs, trailers, all sorts of stuff dropping, and then post-launch we're gonna have so much content that you guys aren't gonna want to miss. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and of course turn on those post notifications. But we are starting first today here with a brand new blog from Call of Duty detailing some launch communications, the PC trailer specs, preloading info, and more. We also have more information from the PlayStation Size Twitter or X account that gives us more details about what to expect later on this week with early access. But they initially say here is Call of Duty PC lead developer Beanox fine-tunes the PC version of MW3 and prep for launch. Ready yourself with drivers, preloading times, file sizes, all sorts of stuff like that. So the upcoming release of MW3 is quickly approaching. It's November 10th PC launch date on BNet and Steam in partnership with Sledgehammer. Call of Duty PC lead developer Beanox has ensured players have over 500 customization options at their fingertips. The PC trailer's already dropped. It's been out for a little bit. We've already had it in videos here on the channel. Nothing too crazy there. It's your very standard Call of Duty trailer and doesn't really give us the info that we need for today. Get the ultimate PC Modern Warfare 3 experience with performance multiplying DLSS 3. So this is driver related with NVIDIA drivers. If you have an applicable computer, you can update this and it should help with the overall performance here in MW3. Obviously a big problem with MW2 and Warzone this year has been the stability and has been the performance when it comes to hitching and FPS drops. It seems like my FPS has gone down and down and down throughout the years. We see more updates, which is the inverse of what should be happening. So hopefully MW3 can launch a bit more optimized and ready. NVIDIA Reflex best PC responsiveness. We also do get some new images of campaign gameplay here, which is kind of cool as well. For what it's worth, we're actually able to go through and see a few new instances of footage here. Shotgun in the hallways. Of course, up here we had another new image as well. Nothing crazy, but it's something new, right? PC preloading is what's important here though. Campaign early access and official launch times. Players who pre-purchase MW3 digitally on PC can preload the game ready at launch. Preloading will also be available for campaign early access. This does apply to console as well, as we'll talk about here in just a bit, where things get a little bit crazy, I won't lie. Preloading for campaign early access on PC begins November 1st at 9 a.m. Pacific time, with early access going live on November 2nd at 10 a.m. Pacific time. A direct sequel, MW3 picks up right where MW2 left off. Play a full week before launch and experience everything that Task Force 141 is getting into. We then get our global launch times, which is also very important. So they give us this image here, which shows the relative time when the game is going to launch on November 10th. Keep in mind, this is not for campaign early access. That's a global launch at 10 a.m. Pacific on November 2nd. But for November 10th, it is a launch that's dependent on your time zone. So for instance, people do this every year. When you change your time zone over to like New Zealand or Australia, you can play the game a little bit earlier. You have to buy it all fancy like on console, and it only works on PlayStation or Xbox, I think. But that's the thing. Technically, it launches earlier, the further over you get for like New Zealand and Australia and whatnot. But the global launch times are as follows. Los Angeles, 9 p.m. Pacific time. It's going to be midnight Eastern Standard Time, and you can adjust accordingly based on your time zone and where you are in the world. But good thing to note for actual launch day on November 9th / November 10th, depending on where you live, so you can get on the game right as it's available. They also say preloading for the game's official launch, including multiplayer and zombies, is going to be on November 8th at 9 a.m. Pacific, with the full title going live on November 10th, obviously, as we know. So November 8th is the preload for the full game. November 1st, later on this week, is the preload for early access. So definitely mark your calendars accordingly. Make sure you got the space on your console or on your PC. They do also go through the official specs for PC specific as well. They want you to have an i5 6600 or a Ryzen 5 1400, ideally 8 gigs of RAM, a GeForce GTX 960 minimum, or a Radeon RX 470 minimum. So definitely, if you're looking to play on PC, make sure you got the appropriate utilities inside your PC itself. They also have the recommended stuff here too for the better content or the better graphics and whatnot. And same deal if you want to play in 4K, obviously it goes up and up and up there. Required for all systems, you have to have internet. Surprise, surprise. Then they also have the recommended drivers for NVIDIA and AMD as well. We get another new image here for the campaign. We're out in like the little mountains and whatnot here, so that's kind of interesting. Get ready with the latest drivers, so on and so forth. They want you to pre-order now. But like I said, we also get some interesting details about what this preload is going to be like and that the early access is going to be like thanks to PlayStation Size over on Twitter. So this is what PlayStation Size has found via the PlayStation database, and these sizes will be different a little bit depending on your platform. It'll be slightly different for Xbox and slightly different for PC, but it's going to be roughly in this ballpark, right? So there's 2 campaign packs that you have to download for Modern Warfare 3. The first campaign pack is 18 gigs on PlayStation. The second one is 32 gigs on PlayStation, and you can preload this November 1st. 10 a.m. Pacific is what they say for PlayStation, but 9 a.m. Pacific obviously is what the blog mentioned as well. But it's a large campaign, and you might be saying, why is this campaign 50 gigs in size? You may recall they have the whole open combat missions debuting this year, where we're going to be going through, and instead of it being a very linear mission, the bots sort of walk you through. You go point A, point B, mission's done. It's going to allow you to explore the whole world, and a lot of this is Verdansk, and it's a large area, so you can go around the dam, you could go over to airport, prison, all sorts of stuff depending on what the mission is. So you now have what was these very basic and drawn out linear campaign missions into basically a whole map in and of itself. So that's why campaign this year is going to be a lot larger than in years past. You're going to need more size on your console or PC to have this installed. And then in addition to that, we also know that the Call of Duty app, which technically is MW2 and Warzone as well, is going to have a new update later on this week, the 1.30 update. And that's not the full size of the download. It's going to be 50 as mentioned. But if you don't have Call of Duty HQ yet, which you need to play MW3, that's not downloading all of MW2 and Warzone. It's just downloading the necessary files. You have to have 140 gigs available if you want to play campaign early this year for early access, at least on console, right? Which is definitely very crazy. Call of Duty HQ now, anytime we're seeing an update for MW3 is also going to cause an update for MW2 or cause an update for Warzone. So we'll see this later on this week. We may or may not be getting patch notes for MW2 and Warzone with this title update. If they choose to add in anything, they'd be doing it alongside this, which obviously is the pre-update for the full campaign early access period there. So definitely some big changes this year. Some good, some not so ideal if you're, pressed for hard drive space or storage space on your console or PC. But as of right now, those are all the early access details you need to know. I imagine later on this week, we're probably going to get more info, maybe some more reveals. As we get any new announcements, news leaks, anything like that regarding MW3, you guys know I'm going to have you up to date right as it happens. So stay tuned for that alongside everything else going on in COD. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and drop a like on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.